must pay homage to him.
Welcome to the Heavy Spoilers Show. I'm your host, Definition, and this is the channel where we explain it so you don't have to. Avengers Endgame has just had its world premiere, and after a week of big leaks, we finally have a full comprehensive breakdown of the film and its storyline. If you're like me and can't help yourself and want to know what happens, then you've come to the right place or the wrong one, depending on how you look at it. Throughout this video, I'll be breaking down the main plot points of the story as provided by Dr. Faust from Reddit, who has apparently seen the film and even provided screenshots and video from the premiere. This is, of course, full spoilers ahead, and whilst the plot won't be 100% verified until we see the movie for ourselves, it seems pretty likely. This is from Reddit though, so take it with a pinch of salt as always. This is your last chance to back out, but if you're still here, thanks for clicking the video. I hope you enjoy it. Now let's get into the full plot breakdown of Avengers Endgame. Avengers Endgame opens with Hawkeye training his daughter with a bow and arrow before his family are all mercilessly taken out by the snap. We then cut to Tony and Nebula adrift in space, with the former recording his message to Pepper. Tony falls asleep and awakens to see Captain Marvel outside of the ship, who helps them return to Earth, which is where they meet up with the rest of the survivors. The film then follows them attempting to track down Thanos, whose location is given away by Nebula because she knows of a garden that he said he would retire to upon completing his final goal. They arrive there to find Thanos alone, and he informs them that he used the gauntlet to destroy the stones. He is weak and Thor goes for the head this time, killing him in the process. Snap forward 5 years and Captain Marvel states that she must go to another planet and won't be back for a while. Cut to Louise's van, which is inside a storage unit, and after a rat crawls over the quantum controls, Scott is freed. We follow him as he walks the streets, confused as to why everything looks like it's from 28 days later, before he arrives at a memorial with all of the names of the missing on a large stone. He then travels to the Avengers facility, where he tells Nat and Steve about the quantum realm and how he could build a time machine. They visit Tony to ask for help, but he turns them down as he's happy with his life. Bruce has also become Professor Hulk, and he helps the Avengers build a machine to find the stones in the past. Unfortunately, the machine is faulty, so Scott can't go back, which is when Tony returns, giving Cap his shield back and stating that he will help. Tony fixes up the machine, but before recruiting anyone else, they wish to test it out themselves to make sure that it definitely works. The smaller group travels to a specific moment in Avengers history, namely the Battle of New York. Hulk goes to meet the Ancient One, who refuses to give him the Time Stone, but then does when she learns that Doctor Strange will give it to Thanos. Cap, Iron Man and Ant-Man attempt to get the Tesseract from Loki, but Hydra forces including Crossbones manage to get it instead. Cap meets Crossbones and manages to convince him to hand over the briefcase when he utters the words, "Hail Hydra." On his way out, present Cap accidentally meets his 2012 self, who believes that he is Loki, and they battle it out. Present Cap then tells him that he knows Bucky is alive, which causes the past one to believe him. From here, they return and recruit the rest of the Avengers. Thor and Rocket go to Asgard to get the Reality Stone, but Thor is a complete wreck at this point and has become fat after taking the snap badly. He sees Freya and follows her, whilst Rocket goes after the stone. Freya tells him to pull himself together before Rocket runs in, being chased by guards, and the two return to the present. During this, Thor also grabbed his hammer, so he has it in the present, and this kind of plays into the later part of the movie. War Machine and Nebula go to Morag. Unbeknownst to Nebula, her past self is hooked up with databanks on Thanos' ship, and the villain learns where all the stones are as well as what happens to him. Together they knock out Quill during his dance in the intro of Guardians of the Galaxy and get the Power Stone. The two try to teleport back, but only War Machine makes it, and past Nebula shows up and fights the present one. She bests her and then takes her place in the present. Nat and Hawkeye go to Voromir, where they meet Red Skull and are told how to retrieve the stone. The two fight and Clint tries to jump off the cliff, but Nat grabs him and sacrifices herself so that they can get the stone. Flash back to the present and everyone is devastated by Black Widow's death. Tony and Bruce construct the Infinity Gauntlet, which Hulk wields. He snaps his fingers and restores all the past life lost, which is confirmed by Hawkeye's wife, who calls him. Past Nebula activates the quantum teleporter and summons Thanos' ship, which destroys Avengers HQ. Cap, Thor and Tony team up against Thanos, but Thanos beats Thor and is about to kill him, which is when Cap lifts Thor's hammer and beats him with it. Thanos summons his entire army, including the Black Order. It looks like Cap is going to be all alone, which is when he hears Sam's voice and pretty much everyone returns and they charge him. During this, Hawkeye has managed to get the Infinity Gauntlet, which gets passed about as a sort of MacGuffin with everyone trying to get it. Eventually, Captain Marvel arrives, destroys Thanos' ship and takes it, but Thanos wrestles it off her, which is when Tony picks it up and puts it on. Tony snaps his fingers, wiping out all of Thanos' forces and Thanos himself. Now, prepare to hold back those tears, guys, because due to the force of the gauntlet, Tony is killed and he dies in Pepper's arms after saving the day. At his funeral, a holographic Tony gives a message to everyone, including his daughter. Thor designates Valkyrie as the Queen of Asgard and he joins the Guardians of the Galaxy, with him and Quill fighting out over who should be captain of the ship. Cap goes on a mission to return the stones back to their proper places, and Hulk says that he should be back in 5 seconds, but he doesn't return. Outside, Sam and Bucky see an old man sat at a bench and they realise it's Cap. Steve has a wedding ring on and he passes the shield to Sam, who is honoured to take up the mantle. We then cut to a young Captain America dancing with Peggy Carter at their house, which is when the credits roll. And on to the post-credit scene. Now, apparently the post-credit scene isn't so much a scene as it is all of the cast bowing to the audience before a piece of paper with all of their signatures on appears. This is actually a pretty amazing way to end the movie, I think, and if that's correct, I really hope that it's the way that it closes out this huge chapter of the MCU. Obviously, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this leak and if you think it's legitimate or not. Comment below and let me know, and if you enjoyed this video then please like it and make sure you check out my breakdown of the 5 minutes of leaked footage that we got on the film, which will be linked at the end. This is a channel for people who are super into superheroes, so if that's the kind of thing you like, hit subscribe. Thanks again for taking the time to watch this. I've been Definition, you've been the best, and I'll see you next time. Take care, peace.